I, it's amazing how much longer everything takes, though. Everything. Grateful that my wife is a way better person and helpful than I would be in the opposite situation. Intentions, like to update a little bit on a Discord stuff and Telegram stuff. That's it. And Suga.
You got me laughing there. Wait a minute. Way more complicated or long than what? What was the comparison of?
It's
okay. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Like if I wanted a glass of water for a drink, it takes me 20 minutes to get out of my chair, go to the sink, get water, come back and drink it.
Because of your
everything
to you. Okay.
I broke my arm, so yeah, it's like
I didn't realize
everything.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I was actually gonna. Now this is gonna sound terrible, but my gratitude point was just being grateful for health because, well, yeah, you get it, right? You hear me. When things are tough, obviously that's when gratitude really needs to rear its head and remind you of other things when other things are terrible. So yeah, gratitude for health. I'm feeling okay. And also, Nicola said she is going to do some check-in for tomorrow. And I thought you were about to say, right, what I thought you said was chicken. And I was like, yes, that's how I'm feeling too.
Me too.
Like a chicken with its head cut off. You do? Okay, good. Right. So, feeling like a chicken with its head cut off. So like everybody else, overwhelmed and running around and putting out fires and whatever. So on that note, yeah, back to you, Ashley.
Thanks, Suga. Well, it's comforting to know that I'm not alone. So we're all in this together, you guys. All right. So let's start here. I got the stream going. Yay. And I will start with just some ambassador program updates. So the module sessions are now finished. Ambassadors are now working on creating their videos for graduation, as well as like working on onboarding some projects. I've got some things that I need to catch up on. I know that people have onboarded some projects and I haven't been able to add them like to the list yet. So I don't know exactly how many we have so far, but they are they're progressing and seems like they're on top of it and working towards the goals. So that's exciting. I'm excited to see we put a lot of work into this season at the beginning, and so it's one of those things you don't really see the fruits of the labor until afterwards. So I'm hoping that now the harvest is going to be abundant of the outcomes from the program this season. So looking forward to seeing that, tracking the KPIs there. So yeah, we just now need to review the graduation videos, plan like some sort of graduation celebration party or something. Review the KPIs and like all the data, get it all in one place, and then have like a retrospective session on how we did this time and how we can move forward in the next season and do better next time and what we can improve on, etc. So that's kind of where I'm at. Still looking on how to keep the ambassadors engaged after their season is over, and hopefully that's something that we can brainstorm on in the retrospective session. So something to keep in mind. But really, like, that's what I have for the ambassador updates. I know, Almond, you helped with the session yesterday. Thank you so much for that. And I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to add.
No, I think that we should start planning on the next steps, as we mentioned before. How are we going to keep up with the program when the ends? And then I was thinking maybe define the structure of the program if we want to do these twice a year or something like that, and like just the more generals of what this will look like in the future. And yeah, I was just thinking defining the next steps.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. All right. Well, it seems like we're on the same page there. Like I said, I'm looking forward to see like how this all ends this season, because I think we did a really good job. So I don't know. I'm kind of biased, but all right. So now the bigger topic, because we have the event tomorrow with the Meet the Makers. Did you want to give us some updates, Nicola, and see how we can get synced up so we're all on the same page for tomorrow?
Yes, great. And maybe I can share my screen, but I can show quickly, actually. Yeah, I want to do it. That's not what I was going to show. I wanted to show this. So we have the presentation ready. This is actually, all the projects filled in. Okay, I actually texted to this lady today and asked her if she's thinking maybe she wants to use less words and maybe more pictures and look at the other projects, because Mitch went like this about it. So everything is ready, and basically we are the only ones who have the presentation. So that will be you. Last time I did it the way that I was just like the one having the presentation on Hi Mitch, and moving along the presentation with them. This time it's a different because each project has 3 slides. So maybe we can just have a little sync before to make sure that we have some signs or something. And this is mostly for Almond because you'll be like in charge flow. So yeah, Mitch, great that you filled in the presentation. So each project is 3 slides, and here we finish. And if you, Almond, had or want to like go over the presentation together and do a little preparation, anything for you to feel ready about it, just let me know. I'm at hand, but this is for you, and you should be basically sharing the screen. So we have the presentation ready. And going back to the updates. So I just wanted to do a quick check-in today with you guys. We have the stream prepared. So host is Almond. I want to check in with you, hear from you if you feel like you have any questions or you need any support or everything is clear to you. I'll be there to meet with you all 15 minutes before we start. I also invited all of the project owners to come 15 minutes before. Hopefully everyone will make it in time so that we can have this little time for the technical sync up. As I mentioned, the presentation will be only happening on our side, and we'll have chat support, which is going to be there are 2 parts of the chat support this time. We're going to have pre-drafted messages that Surbi is working on currently. She wants to make them a little bit more personalized, related to the project. So I think she said she's going to have it ready today. So I'm going to share the link, or we'll see the shared. Let's check let's keep checking the chat. We'll have the link there. We can be using this during the session, as well as there's going to be this feedback form that we can ask, we can just send around during as well, just to gather some feedback. So those are 2 new things that we're trying this time. And that's exciting. That was all created by Surbi. One last thing we need to do is send the Discord messaging. So this would be just to check in with Ash. So just go back to my share now around check-ins. So first of all, I want to check in with Almond if everything good or anything.
Yeah, I think that everything's cool on my end. Thanks, Nicola.
Great. Awesome. And are you comfortable? I just want to double check. Are you comfortable with being the host, sharing the presentation, and like managing the StreamYard?
Yeah, I think there's no problem. Question. How much time do you give normally to each project to present?
10 minutes. Each project should have 10 minutes.
Excellent.
So
Yep.
there's 4 projects. That's 40 minutes. We can have 10 minutes opening, 10 minutes closing in case there will be some more questions. We'll be adjusting the questions during the session as usual. Yep. Any questions?
No, only I will be. I'm the one that will be counting the time that's left. Yeah, right.
Basically, you'll be having the chance. So what I did last time with the project was that you'll be the one who will stay in the window with the one project owner. That's actually, this is how we did it, the flow with Franco last time through. Everybody was in the window at the beginning, and then when I started to introduce Giveth, Franco took everyone out, and now, so this is like why I'm double checking, and we can get support on this, so you can say it's up to you. But everyone was taken out of the window. Then I was the one, or you would be the one who like says the first introductions, the first 3 slides, and opening it up for the next project. And then you stay in the window with the project. And sometimes it's like good to be like there, helping them managing the conversation. So you can already ask in some questions, but like you be in charge of like saying, kind of closing the conversation up, because I can be on site and measure the time for you, or like send in the chat if you want, but you'll be the one who's be like, okay, let's, we have 1 last minute. Let's try to wrap it up or something like that. It's going to be up to you. Sounds good?
Okay. Yeah, perfect. No problem. I think
Cool.
that everything's clear.
Mitch, I see you here. Did you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay, if you feel ready, you're gonna go as the last.
Sure. You just wing it.
Awesome. Yeah.
I have a question about like
Yeah.
the messaging that we'll be sharing like in the Discord or in the chats of the different platforms. Like Serbi said she was going to draft some like pre-made messaging to post in those channels. Has that happened already? Where do I find that information?
No. I think she only posted so far the feedback form, but I'm still waiting to hear back from her, but I believe she's working on it, so we'll have it today.
Okay.
So when she's having it, I assume she's going to post it in the channel as well as she did this feedback form. If not, I'm going to follow up and make sure we have access to it. No worries. But like, yeah,
Okay, cool.
it should be in the channel.
If for some reason I like, yeah, just let me know, and I guess if not, then we just go with the way that we were doing it last time, right? Where we just like sharing the projects, etc. If she doesn't.
Yeah,
get any in time for
totally.
this one.
This is
Okay.
only the day. Yeah, totally. This is the only. Yeah, the only difference here is that those messages they're just a little more crafted, like for the specific projects,
Yeah.
making it a little more appealing
Yeah, that
for
makes
donors.
sense.
But yeah, okay.
Cool.
And then we have the next week ahead. I mean, there are no questions during tomorrow's session. Then I just want to give a quick overview. Jankin? Okay, no. Your headset muted. Okay. So the next week, guys, we have a retrospective session with the planning on Tuesday again. And I think it's going to be the last one before I go for vacation. So that's going to be nice to have this last overview of the last session, look at the planning for the next one, do a little bit of updates based on the plan that Serbi developed and the things that we want to implement for the next round. And just also reminder, last time during the meeting, we decided to make it longer because 30 minutes was not enough. So we're back to 1 hour. In case we don't use all the time, of course, we're giving it back. But remember that, please. And yeah, please come for the next meeting. We'll be talking a little more about the plans for the next maybe 2-3 months. Because want to implement some themes, invite new speakers, and we're working on improving the outreach, comms consistency, and all these little sparkly new enhancements brought by Serbi. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's exciting.
And
So can you remind me again which day you leave? October.
So I am going on vacation from October 16 to November 6th. So I'm going to miss one session. And as I already mentioned, just one more time, I talked already with Surbi. She's excited to take the reins in and take over all my tasks that I do and help to coordinate for the first one while while implementing the enhancement. So I would just love to ask you for support, because you girls, especially you, Almond and Ashley, you already know the drill with everything. So I'm going to have a sync ups with her and make sure she's prepared and everything. But I also want to make sure that, you help her help navigate if she needed it, which I'm sure you will. So just say
definitely. Okay, cool. Just wanted to remember the date, and I'll make sure to check in with her, and if she needs any support, hopefully she'll also reach out to us. Cool.
Yes, and I'll tell her too. And maybe one last update if we want to hear from Suga. I know you were doing some interviews. Maybe you wanted to give us some updates because I guess you were more up to speed with the homepage section updates and how the storytelling will fall into it.
We got a little how do I say, held up. Marco was in the hospital. And so, so actually there's movement now. Things are getting back in action. And I did have the interview yesterday with Bob Burnquist, which was super amazing. And I'm really excited it's going to take me a little bit of work to draft that. It was actually just last night for me, and it was quick, and I wish it had been a lot longer. And wow, so that's going to be really cool. That'll be, I think, our first stab at really kind of zoning in on this narrative. So that's it. It's right now it's just rough. I just have my interview notes, and I'm going to draft up something this week. And then, we're moving forward with Marco and design. And then, so hopefully I think this particular one we were also going to use for an SEO page, but, the idea being that we can get a couple of these. I mean, that one was amazing, Nicola. Like, wow, really
I'm so
important.
Happy to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I just, anyway, I'm just rambling, but it was great. I just feel like an idiot because he's like a superstar, and I didn't really realize that. Like, oh my God, so I'm gonna I haven't synced yet with Serbi about that, but this is gonna be good.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear this. Yeah, I also didn't know how much famous this person is, but great that we are moving forward. That's exciting. Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's do more of this. That's so much fun. All right.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. So send any more, like, if you have, I can, at some point I can go through, but as we talked about before, you gals, Ashley and Nicola especially, have such intimate insight on the projects that you can find those gems and send them my way.
Noted. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. I'm so glad that that you got that to do that. I've been hoping that was going to take place for a while now. Yeah, he's definitely pretty famous, and I mean, he has a video game character, Okay, cool. Well, this is exciting. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We'll just go with it and see how it goes and make adjustments to keep making it better. But I feel like this whole event and movement has grown so much, even just in this quarter. So that's really cool, and good job, you guys, on getting all of this stuff done.
Yeah, thank you. It's great teamwork, I must say. And Surbi has been really a huge kicker,
Yeah.
how we call it, pusher. It's great. So yeah, thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, shall we move on, or is there still more that we should talk about around this?
I feel complete for now. I would just say, please. I mean, if you want to get involved or you're curious, please come to the next meeting. And if you want to read more about specific suggestions that will be made for upcoming months, then there is the link to the document that you can have a closer look. Yeah, and that's it. Thanks, Ash.
Cool. All right. Well, I see Kotabe jumped in here. Kotabe, welcome. Did you want to give us some last updates or recap, I guess, of the Epernamos efforts?
Yeah, absolutely. Jam everyone. So I made this table with the stats from Aprendamos Refi, so we also have them. As you can see, like first episodes have many more reproductions, especially on Spotify, but also on YouTube. Later episodes a bit less. That's or significantly less. I think that is because so my insight is that there was way less kind of like support. I did for the first episodes a lot of one-on-one, especially for Spanish speaker impact community in Mexico. But as Aprendamos Refi became kind of like a one-time effort, I stopped doing that for the moment. Also, there were like lots of other priorities like optimism, fundraising, and so on and so forth. But still, I think that there is like very interesting stats. For example, like on Twitter, engagement for episode 5, it was like higher than for previous ones. Maybe there's a lot about that regarding that in episode 5 it was with Marcus, who is also well, like bigger on Twitter and more known on the crypto space. So yeah, just recap of the stats. Episode 1 got 94 reproductions on YouTube and 38 on Spotify. Episode 2, 62 on YouTube and 11 on Spotify. Episode 3, 35 on YouTube and 3 on Spotify. Episode 4, 21 on YouTube, 1 on Spotify. And episode 5, 24 on YouTube, 4 on Spotify. And then the LinkedIn engagements were also kind of like following a similar pattern. Yeah. I'll say that I think it's nice. Like they really, I think LinkedIn and Twitter are things that people will see once that they appeared in the moment, and then they will never see them again. So probably those stats will never grow. But YouTube and Spotify are they are just resources and information that is going to be there for Spanish-speaking community. I mean, for as long as YouTube and Spotify are there, or we have them there. So that's really cool to. They can always serve as a resource, and I think that's really cool. So yeah. Does anyone has any questions, comments, ideas, complaints, anything?
I mean, this is Ashley's call, but I wonder how much hours cumulatively is spent making each episode.
I will say probably about 5 or yeah, between 4 and 6 hours per episode, maybe a bit more. Not sure, considering both Almond and my time. Something like that. We could check it.
Yeah, maybe I spend maybe on each episode like 4 or 5 hours because I need to edit and then schedule the content. So maybe like 4, tops 5.
Yeah, and same for me. Like then it will be double because I also spend like 4 or 5.
So
4, I guess.
8 to 12 hours per episode of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had decided already that this is not an ongoing effort, that we just wanted to finish the season as we had it because we already had all the content at that point. But yeah, we won't be doing this podcast anymore moving forward. We just didn't want the work that had already gone into it to go to waste. And hopefully, I guess now the question is, how can we use this content to its fullest potential? You know, like what's the utility of this content? How can we provide it as a resource to our community? And like what benefit can they get from that? I don't know if it's like specific topics that we can bring up to help onboard people. I'm not really sure what the best utility is for the content, but I think that having it as a resource is valuable. We just need to figure out how to get it to people.
Maybe an idea for you, Ashley, is to like piggyback on communities that are more focused on Latam, like HerDAO Latam, Refi Latam, ETH Latam, and like provide this as like educational content for the communities to use. Because we don't have a big Latin American following compared to these other more niche communities. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We could partner with some of them and maybe they can share it through some of their channels to their communities. I don't know, Katabi, do you have any ideas on how we could keep using this content and like get the most out of the work that we put into it?
Yeah. So I think at least what I was thinking when we were just thinking about doing the podcast, and some part where I think that I have some value to add that has been untapped is because I've been working in the impact sector in Latam for some time now. I mean, since 2017, and I know like people from Social Lab, from New Ventures, from Make Sense, so on and so forth. I like this content was catered for that audience. It's very introductory. It's kind of like 101. It's on topics that are not so specific on crypto, but are more related to impact to nonprofits. So I think this content will serve them well. The only thing is that I think in the second quarter of this year, it felt like Giveth needed to focus on some specific things like fundraising rather than like, for example, growing on the impact sector in Mexico, right? That felt like more tangential to Giveth at the moment. So I think that's where this content is more valuable. However, I've been winding down efforts in growing in that way, and I've been scaling up efforts in for example, like fundraising in crypto grants. And I don't think that it's a good idea to again change gears. I think it can serve once maybe market conditions are a bit different. Once, like if at some point we decide again that we want to grow with local impact ecosystems or so on and so forth. For example, like one decision that could trigger this is it's hard to grow with local impact ecosystems when we don't have on-ramps, because then it's like, well, they have to enter to a whole new different world, which is crypto, and there is not even connection with like, okay, but can I get also funding from a credit card, right? So maybe once, if at some point we will, when we have on ramps again, then maybe it makes sense to reach out again to these social impact ecosystems that are more locally, and I can definitely do it for Latin America and Mexico, and I think this content is going to be valuable. But that's my take. Like, I think at this time, I don't have such a straightforward way, other than I keep going to some of their events and more like 101, but not, I don't know. Maybe someone has some ideas of how to make this low effort but still available for this kind of like ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Mitch has a great point, like piggybacking off of some of these communities that already provide some on-ramping or educational programming for people who are brand new to the ecosystem. So we could start there and then maybe brainstorm some other ideas, but I agree that it should be kind of like low bandwidth for us, not putting a lot of time and more time and effort into it. All right. Well, is there anything else that we should talk about around this, or we feel pretty complete? I'd love to also touch on some other things in this call with our working group proposal. All right. Well, I also have this slide here for starting up the Telegram. I really wish that Maya was here. She hasn't been here for a while, so I don't really know the updates, but maybe Giant have you been able to sync with Maya at all about like getting this secure so that we can get it going live?
In the test group, I did change the settings for the bot.
One bot rows. Of course, you can't see anything because it's all back end stuff. So there's no way. It's like I basically got to redo it all by hand anyway in the normal one when we get to that far.
Okay, so maybe it's better to like make it go public and then implement the security measures. Just make sure we have people like moderating it, because we need people joining and stuff, right, to be able to test it.
But yeah, basically, yes.
Okay.
Are we going to do that same one as the public one? Or are we going to do the other one?
Not the test one, the one that already has members. It has like 300 and something members. Well,
okay.
The thing is that like actually this would be really useful for us right now, because we're trying to do all this onboarding for the QF stuff. So to have like a Telegram group where we could direct project owners that have questions, things like that, a little bit like lower barrier to entry than Discord would be really cool. So I would love to like get this going. And again, I wish Maya could be here. But
well, just regarding Maya, I don't know if how much do you know, or anyone here, but like her best friend, which is like her sister, it's had her husband died, and so she's kind of like she went and visit her, and she's been helping her with all the administrative stuff, because she would just move to the US, and then everything is hard and complicated, and she was alone there. She will be back this week, and she really feels bad about not being here, but it was kind of like really, really unexpected circumstances, and yeah, I just wanted to say that, because I don't know how much did she share, but she was feeling bad about it, about not being here.
Yeah. No, I understand. Hopefully we can get synced up and make some progress on this going forward. Okay.
Is that the 328 member one?
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, I can't make any changes there.
Okay. Well, I'll see what I can do to get us in there with some admin privileges and start making some moves, making things happen.
Okay.
Somebody just showed up at the door. I gotta go to the door real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry.
I'll sing. Just kidding.
No, sing.
I want to scare everybody off.
We can everyone just unmute and share our laughter. That would be nice, no? Yeah.
I could do that.
I love
Almond,
that.
now you.
Unmuting just to laugh. It's the best reason to unmute.
Well, guys, what are we going to do next season? That's where this is all going.
So what I would like to do is just take a look at our working group proposal and see the things that we promised we would deliver on, see what the status is there, because we're going to need to make a new proposal soon for the next season. So basically here's the grow list. Plan and execute some fun team building bonding events. So far we haven't made any of those. Nicola and I were planning on, made some plans around one that we could do, brainstorming. But we haven't actually realized any of that. The Telegram group we just talked about has not been revived, but is in the process, so hopefully by the end of this season we can get that at least live. We did expand the team and brought on another contributor, Maya. The ambassador program got expanded. The Meet the Makers definitely got expanded. Has been a pretty a good success in my opinion. We just need to see some of the, I'm gonna get together some of the numbers from the ambassador program, and hopefully maybe Nicola, we can work together and look at some of the KPI numbers from Meet the Makers.
Yes.
Yeah. We haven't done any Giveth Essential sessions, but so far no topics have come up that would be a great topic, and I feel like people have been so busy with the things that they're working on. We did a lot of research with Serbi on how to implement different growth strategies of other communities, and also just her ideas. We're doing some campaigns there. So I think that that's great. Trying to figure out this user feedback loops for working groups has been, it's slightly challenging because I feel like it's not just up to Communitas to gather feedback, and we have a lot of different channels on how to gather feedback. But how do we provide that feedback that we're getting when we're supporting users, supporting non-user support, all this stuff? How do we make sure that that feedback gets to the development team, for instance, or whatever, so that they know where users are struggling? So far, personally, I just make issues for people or for the devs. If something is coming up that's happening again and again and people seem confused, then I just make sure Monique is informed, and usually he works to implement some changes to make it easier. But as far as having a system for this feedback, we haven't really developed anything there. AMAs and orientations are going strong. We're doing still Discord community engagement and non-user support. So I don't know. Overall, I feel like some of these things are really successful, and other ones we're not doing such a great job, you guys. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just open it up and we can discuss some of these things, but just wanted to kind of get a status check here.
I guess I can throw my other thing for Discord stuff out there. The threads, I love threads, but there is a vulnerability for abuse. It's been going around that a scammer will come in and set up you're able to create threads, and they can, somebody says, hey, I'm having trouble. They put them in this thread, and no one can see that unless you're invited to it, because it's a private thread. And it's just something I'm going to be cleaning up, because I went on this morning as my test account, and there's quite a few threads that are channels that we can create threads that way, and so I'm going to close that loop gap. That's what I'm working on right now.
Oh, cool. So just like
Oh,
making it so that people can't create private threads, essentially.
yes, and basically only the contributors. I think right now I do the PD unicorns. I don't. We can always discuss if we want unicorns to be able to do that or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't think that that's a bad idea. I think we can trust our unicorns.
Oh, you're cutting out. What was that?
I said I don't think that's a bad idea. I think we can trust the unicorns.
That's what I was thinking, but I know the PDs.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's my goal for that one. The other thing is, which I already did, is you could actually do a link, but a hidden link in the chat. But now you cannot. So let's see what the heck they were trying to do, and take action. There's also a list. I don't think I've started a list yet of the other bot that automatically stops people from coming in as fake moderators and such. But it's something that I'm also working on. So
I see.
Right, that was it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I think I trust your judgment with the Discord moderation more than anything. I don't really know what I'm doing there, so I just, anytime something comes up, I usually ask you. So, so yeah, I guess let me, but I think that I trust your judgment. All right. So how about this like team building bonding event, Nicola, the one that we were talking about? Do you think that we have the bandwidth to do that before you leave for your vacation?
That would have to be next week, but I think so. I mean, we could do what we talked about, and that doesn't take way more proportional. I mean, we could, but also it's kind of last minute next week. All the QF. I don't know if people are interested in this. It'd be nice to I think we can execute it before I go. I think it's a little bit rushed. Maybe I'm not sure.
Maybe we can make a poll, and we can just like get a temperature check for like if we were to do this week, would people how many people would be interested in coming and participating, and get a temperature check that way. And if we have like a high loop, then we can try to plan it. And if people don't seem too interested, then maybe we just forego that for this season and try to be better at that next season, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, when I'm looking, maybe just to comment on the whole, proposal, and I'm looking at it, and just evaluating the time and the capacity that we had in the team. It feels a little unrealistic if I think that we were the three of us or four of us actively starting here, and each of us busy with, I know you were very, very busy with the ambassador program together with Almond. Of course, Almond's busy with other things in comms, and I was very, very occupied with Meet the Maker. So, I think we were very ambitious with this growth plan to try to make everything happen in 3 months. Maybe what we can learn from this is try to come up with some sort of maybe 3 months plan, 6 months plans, a year plan. Some things will take time to implement, right? Some things we can implement faster. I don't know. Maybe just a little bit of a strategizing around the next proposal, so that we don't push ourselves into place where we are not able to deliver. So yeah, this is what I'm thinking about it. I don't know if anybody else has any opinion on it, or ideas, or how we.
Do you mean 6 months or something as far as the proposal thing goes? Or are you talking about the events, the bonding events in general? Sorry, I just want to clear.
No, I was talking generally about Communitas. and
Yeah.
all the things that we have listed on the proposal and we're supposed to deliver during these 3 months.
Mhm.
So I was just talking generally to this, and maybe like try to take in consideration what's the bandwidth and what are the plans that we, maybe just like have our own inner strategy a little more clear, defined in terms of like being able to actually like have a clear, better expectations around what we can do or what we cannot do, and what if we are to do, how long does it take and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So not necessarily that we have to create a 6 months proposal, but why not also, because Communitas is going to be here anyway. So I don't know. 3 months do this every 3 months, like every 3 months do a new proposal for the group is a little crazy when you think that it just ran so fast. And I don't know how others feel about it, but that's
Yeah,
me.
that's something I actually brought up in the DAO-Ops call with Mitch about maybe in the future having longer periods for the proposal. I think it's kind of good to do it 3 months at the beginning because we're still kind of experimenting with the subdaification and the budgets and stuff, so it gives us a little bit more um, control, I suppose, or like agency when it comes to um, being able to use the budget and knowing like where our budget is standing at the moment, like more check-ins, I guess, essentially. But he was talking about in the
Hmm.
future maybe doing 6 months instead. So I know that's something that we're looking to maybe do in the future. But for right now, it's just we're doing this because we're still kind of figuring it all out. And I don't think that we're gonna
Yeah.
be like, I don't think anything negative is going to come out of the fact that, like, oh, we didn't quite meet all of our goals that we were trying to meet. And I don't think we're going to be the only working group that, like, there's a few things, like, we said we were going to try to do this and it didn't happen. But also, I think that we're going to be way under budget. So I think that maybe that will help be on our side as well. Is that I don't think that we're
Mm.
using nearly the whole budget at all, especially with the ambassador stuff. We'll see, but
Yeah.
I don't
But
see.
also, at the same time, many things are still in the process. It's still like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
it's ongoing.
Besides, you don't really want to do all the goals too easy because that means you wasted cycles, right?
Yeah.
You could have done more things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And with the Giveth Essentials sessions, like I said, there just hasn't been so many things coming up that people like still have questions about. So it's like it's like, we could plan to do some. I wanted to do the Notion one, but with Almond taking over comms and then this ambassador and Meet the Makers just like expanding so much, like all our bandwidth is full, and I'd rather like us do the things that we need to get done instead of just trying to do these extra things just because they're on our working group proposal, even if they're not bringing so much value to the community.
Same. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least we got to kind of like check in on it. I know I could probably be a little bit more organized as the steward and have I don't know, when we were in the DAP call, Mitch had like all this checklist and everything. I was like, wow, yeah, I didn't do any of that, but I'm glad that we got to check in on this together, and yeah, maybe we'll review it. I need to just look at the budget, I guess, is the next step for me, to see like how we did with the budget and how we can plan to do it in the future, and hopefully like I can get some support from Frischel and the DAO-Ops team on that, and then we'll try again and keep going. Hopefully, the other thing about this is like, when we create our proposal, do we have to create a grow option? Because I think that actually it can be kind of detrimental to our working group if everybody at Giveth chooses for us to grow, but we don't have the capacity to do so.
Yeah.
So I think that's a
I'm
good
down
question too.
I'm down to not to. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to put that in there, and you don't have the bandwidth unless you hire somebody first, and then the next time you'd put a grow option in.
Well, that is kind of what we tried to do this time. We did hire somebody, but the timing was just like not so great on both of our parts, and things like that. So, but at the same time, I don't think it was so horrible either. But it's okay. We're learning, we're growing, but maybe next time we'll just like stick with a sustain or shrink option and not do a grow option. We'll see. I just feel like so many of us have such a full bandwidth right now with all of our responsibilities. It's really tough to do this, to grow even more than we already are. All right. Well, we got 2 more minutes left. I don't know if anybody else had anything else they wanted to add to this or say on the behalf, but I know we got the comms call next. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. The Meet the Makers, I think, really our biggest focuses for this season was like expanding the ambassador program and expanding Meet the Makers, and I think with both of those things we've done a great job making both of those things much better than they were last season. So our main focuses are there, and yeah, go team.
Thanks, Ash.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ash.
GM.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, see you next
See
time.
everybody.
Ciao.